struggled with, I think, in that Denver loss, something that he struggled with was he wasn't aggressive enough. And
Right.
I think with you look at Jayson Tatum, you're playing into the defense's hands. You're really as when you're the defense and Jayson Tatum isn't being aggressive, you're bailing him out. You're giving him an opportunity to, kind of
Shoot
not have
himself
to
in the
hone in
foot.
on you, right? And again, it's Jayson Tatum. They're going to be honed in on him 24/7. But that game against Denver, Jayson Tatum was very okay with moving the ball and getting other people open, which is good. That's all good. You want to see that out of JT. But 13 shots against Denver is something you never want to see from Jayson Tatum. Tonight, he was aggressive, man. He was shooting the ball, 23 shots for JT tonight, and he was able to get his looks, stay aggressive, and in the process of doing so, he was able to find his teammates. The game opens up. There's more space. When you continue to be aggressive, the defense is going to continue to put pressure on you. And when the defense continues to put pressure on a guy like Jayson Tatum, he's going to have many opportunities to move the ball and swing it and kick it and get those guys going. Jayson Tatum is one of the league's best players, if not the best player in the NBA, Franco. He needs
Yeah.
to continue to put the pressure on. He needs to be aggressive. And tonight, bad shooting night. But just like against Phoenix, he didn't take his foot off the gas. He continued to keep it going. And I think when you look at Jayson Tatum, that's super important for a guy like him.
We don't need Jayson Tatum to be the best player in the NBA. We need Jayson Tatum to be the best version of himself. We I know that debate is huge. Who's number 1? Who's top 5? Who's top 10? It really doesn't matter until that championship ring comes on, and then you can start focusing on those extracurriculars. The only thing that he needs to focus on is really the basketball court at this moment, and when he's going into these types of nights and you see these performances, 8 assists from Jayson Tatum, he was picking up on the defensive side as well. He was just being able to be that option and take that step back, and what I liked about him and Brown, they were going back and forth from who's getting into the paint, and what they were finding is Horford wide open in the corner throughout the first quarter, and then Sam Hauser was able to shine as well.
Yeah. I mean, that's the name of the game right now for Boston is, and I've said this, they've checked almost every box they need to this season. They really have. They have been a phenomenal first quarter team with a struggling third quarter in the first half of the year, and then you've really seen them pick that up. They've been the best defensive team at times. They've been the best offensive team at times. You've seen their bench go off for nights like this. We get 22 points off the bench from Sam Hauser. Luke Cornett's taking strides. You see Joe Mazzulla starting to figure things out and really, coming to his own as a coach. You've seen Tatum and you've seen Brown, you've seen Porzingis go off for these big games. You've seen Drew Holiday hit big time shots. Right now with the Boston Celtics, it's just let's just wait and see. If you get this version of the Boston Celtics that we have seen now through 64 games in the regular season, they're gonna walk to the finals. Now the question, has become in the NBA finals, if they see Denver, how confident are we going to be? Well, right now, Denver got the best of us. They're up 2-0 against us. But I like our chances. And right now where we're at with the Boston Celtics, it's the building block stage. Continue just to build those good habits, right? Stay healthy, win games, build good habits, right? Whatever happens in a game and you're just playing the game how you should be. You're sticking to the game plan, you are making the right plays, your defensive assignments are on. All that is what matters right now, right? These 50-point explosions from Tatum, but like you said, that doesn't matter right now for the Celtics because right now they need to continue to add building blocks for the playoffs. And where I'm going with this, I guess, is my question for you is when you see a game like tonight and you see how Sam Hauser and Peyton Pritchard, how much confidence do you think have you gained in those two guys and Luke Cornett, those three guys, to potentially slot in to play playoff rotational minutes?
I mean, you look around the NBA and going into the season, I saw Sam Hauser, Peyton Pritchard, and Luke Cornett as our main guys in our rotation coming into the season, and I was a little bit skeptical because um, you looked around the NBA, you looked at the Phoenix Suns. They all have these this semi-star-studded benches where you can see the names that have had success in the league prior, and this is kind of Sam Hauser and Luke Cornett's breakthrough year and Peyton Pritchard's breakthrough year because they're finally getting the opportunity to do so.
Right.
And w they've really expanded upon their roles. I mean, Sam Hauser, I mean, he's just expected to be a situational shooter, and the fact that we're getting contributions from him on the defensive end is huge. And if we can start to work in him with O'Shea, him and O'Shea as the wing tandem behind JB and JT, that has been doing a fantastic job for us. And I think what we need to do is just continue to work those guys in with
Right.
the starters and not do too many platoon swaps and find which matchups work with this roster because there were nights that I can feel confident with this team going and playing every single player that is on the bench at some point during the game and getting the usage that they need out of them and putting them in the best situation that they need to be in for the game.
And you look at Sam Hauser tonight. This is a first for him all season long. Player of the game, Franco. How about
Wow.
this? From Sam, and this is actually one of the funny thing about this is I'm sitting there and it's the fourth quarter. I'm thinking to myself, I'm making the graphic. All right, who's tonight's player of the game? Right? It really wasn't Tatum. It really wasn't Brown. And I looked at Pritchard, and at the time, right, Pritchard had 9 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists. And I'm thinking to myself, all right, you know what? Starting role for Peyton Pritchard back in his hometown in Portland, Oregon. I think it might be Pritchard tonight. And then an explosion in the fourth quarter. Here comes Sam Hauser, 22 points, season high. He earned it, man. He played great. And to see this from Sam, and I'm going to tell you this, Franco, if you were watching us way back, right, in that championship season when the things were bad, Sam was my guy. He was sitting on the main Celtics roster. He was balling up in Maine, and I could tell he was a shooter. And I'm happy to really one for Sam, and two, well, I'm kind of right. It's always nice to be right a little bit, but you got to feel as a Celtics fan excited for a performance like this. To see Hauser integrate some defensive ability. Obviously, you saw tonight 3 stocks, steal plus blocks, still new to me. I guess that's a new thing as a stock. But to see Hauser kind of step up and really, in my opinion, be the Celtics' main guy tonight. Offensively, they were finding him. He was, getting into a rhythm, taking his time, stepping into some nice shots. You saw him cut into the basket. He caught a lob on a fast break that, finished in a layup. He couldn't throw it down this time, but you've seen a lot of progression from Sam. And I think as a Celtics fan, right, as guys that analyze the Celtics, that's a really positive sign to see a game like this out of Sam in March, because again, a big question mark for this Celtics team is the bench. When we come around to April and May and the dog days and potentially of June, can they get enough scoring? Can they get enough production off the bench from these guys, and to keep guys like this in a rhythm and get them going before the playoffs, so that when they do step onto the court in a game 6 against Milwaukee in Milwaukee, they're going to be ready for it. And I think tonight they took tremendous strides in that. And I think that's a great sign for the Celtics.